This is Mr. Martin. These are video notes for Pre-Calculus Advanced. We're continuing in Unit 7. This corresponds to Section 7.7 in your textbook. And we're working on solving trig equations. So we have a pretty basic trig equation here that we want to solve. We've got cosine theta equals a half, and we want to find the specific solutions over the interval from 0 to 2 pi. And then we're going to find all the solutions, the general solutions we call them. So if we look at our unit circle, and what we want to do is figure out what angle has x coordinates of a half. So hopefully you figured out that we've got pi over 3. So our coordinates here are 1/2 and root 3 over 2, and we're looking at this 1/2. And as we go around the circle another time, another spot which you may have found where the x coordinate, again because we're talking about cosine is positive a half, is over here at 5 pi over 3. Those coordinates are 1/2 negative root 3 over 2. So for part A, our specific solutions for this would be pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. So now for your specific solutions, if you gave this a try on your own, our first solution here in the first quadrant, that would be pi over 3. And to get all the other solutions that correspond to that, if we were continuing to go around the unit circle or following along on our cosine curve on a graph, we would go 2 pi to get back to pi over 3, and then we would do that k number of times, where k is an integer, to hit every spot on the curve or every position on the unit circle that corresponds to pi over 3. And then for the solutions in the fourth quadrant, we would have 5 pi over 3 plus 2 pi times k. Alright, so hopefully you had those. If you have questions about that or you got something different, you may want to check with me. Let's move on to example 2. Again, I want to reiterate that even though we're doing specific and general solutions, you are going to want to follow the directions. Most problems really will only ask for one type of solution. So here's our equation that we're going to solve. It's a little bit more complicated. So why don't you go ahead and pause the video and see if you can solve this for cosine theta for now. And if you get that and you feel comfortable and you want to continue on and try and find your specific solutions and your general solutions, go ahead and do that. So pause now and see how far you can get with this one. So there's a couple different ways you could do the algebra to get down to our final solution here, cosine theta equals negative root 3 over 2. But whichever method you use, you do want to get down to this equation here at the end. So the way I did it, as you can see, is I added cosine theta to both sides, then I subtracted root 3 from both sides, and then I divided both sides by 2. And we've isolated my trig function. So now we're looking for angles that have an x coordinate of negative root 3 over 2. And I know that pi over 6 has coordinates of root 3 over 2 and 1/2. So there's my root 3 over 2 as an x coordinate. So as I go around my circle one time, I'm looking for pi over 6 values that have an x coordinate of negative root 3 over 2. So again, if you want to try and pause the video and figure out which values of pi over 6 those are as we go around the circle, feel free to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to continue on. So I know that the cosine is going to be negative in the second quadrant and the third quadrant. So we're going to be looking for the pi over 6's in the second and the third. So this would be 5 pi over 6, and this would be 7 pi over 6. So for part A, over the interval of 0 to 2 pi, theta is going to be 5 pi over 6 and 7 pi over 6. So now if you haven't already tried to do your general solutions, you may want to pause the video and try and do those. So for my general solutions, I need to find all the spots as I go around the unit circle that correspond to 5 pi over 6. So that would be theta equals 5 pi over 6 plus 2 pi times k, and theta is going to be 7 pi over 6 plus 2 pi times k. And the second solution will give us all the times that we hit this spot on the unit circle where the x-coordinate is negative root 3 over 2. So we've got our specific solutions as we go through from 0 to 2 pi, and we've got our general solutions, which will give us every single solution on the curve. So if you have any questions, make sure you ask, and if you want to go ahead and move on to example 3, go ahead and give example 3 again a try, and if you get stuck, start the next video and I'll walk you through the steps of that one. So we'll see you in there.